just getting stronger now. It won't be long.
Come quick! The monster done ate my pappy!
Do you really think this was a bear, Doc?
Highly unlikely.
First man on Mars. Once he was human.
There's something shiny in the rock. This is really starting to sting.
Now a bloodthirsty monster, killing and devouring the young. And not so innocent.
Let's take a look at this, huh?
I'm gonna blast the thing back to hell.
Oh, shit.
First man on Mars.
You mean there's aliens out here? Shit, I don't want to get ducted and anal.
This film is not rated.
The following feature has been rated R by the Motion Picture Association of America.
Barbarously murdered in the middle of the night 1 week ago. Your duty to report it either to the police.
Every pretty girl. Never in the history of motion pictures have there been scenes such as these. No one under 17 will be admitted. The Gore Girls. Special effects by the same perverted madmen. Nothing has ever stripped your nerves as screamingly raw as the Gore Girls.
Somebody help me.
Vera's clothes coming up.
I'll make you very happy, Daisy, very happy.
Help me! Help me, somebody! Help me! Help me!
The captive female, a shocker.
Aren't you growing up a little fast, little boy?
You tell me. Greetings, fiends, and welcome to the Horror Mike Show on this fine and fiendish FrightDay evening. I hope you all are doing very well. I am, and I hope you are too. Well, you just witnessed a slaughter of trailers there that we're going to be taking a closer look at tonight. Of course, the Blood Island trilogy featuring those great Blood Island babes. Yes, I'm talking about Celeste Yarnell, talking Beverly Hills, Century City, where everything's nice and pretty. I'm talking about, of course, Angelique Pettyjohn and Liza Belmonte. Now, those are the four main Blood Island babes that we're going to be taking a look at tonight, plus the films, okay? And there's a bit of a physical media thing going on with that, so we're going to take a closer look there. And with the trailers, you saw just, it's going to be hardcore tonight, folks. We're going full Grindhouse 60s and 70s. Stuff that I cannot believe is on Tubi. And I don't think you're going to believe it either. We saw a short trailer for Torso, 1973. And I can't believe that's on Tubi. But of course, the Herschel Gordon Lewis films, Blood Feast, 2000 Maniacs, Gore Girls. If you can believe it, all on Tubi, folks. We're taking a closer look at those tonight. It's been a hell of a week, my good fiends. It started off kind of shitty, and then midweek, the light shone through. And it started getting better real quick. And what I mean by that is the fact that on Wednesday afternoon, I received the books. Finally, the freaking books. I'm talking about these books, folks. My newest book, Pre-Code Horror Comics, the original art edition. And so I promptly took a look at all of them to make sure that they were all good, of course, and put them up for sale. Oh, yeah, I put them up for sale yesterday afternoon. And, folks, so far, I have sold 21 of these books. I sold 21 of these in a day. Okay, there are 100. They're signed and numbered. Okay, and that's going to be it for the first printing, and then it'll go into a second printing. So it's only 100 for the first printing, signed and numbered, and they are going incredibly quickly. This is the fastest. Even with my films, I've never actually sold 21 films in a 24-hour period, ever. You know, it's typically like 10, 12 maybe over the first weekend. This has been absolutely insane. Since yesterday afternoon, folks, 21 of these bad boys sold. 126 pages, folks. Pre-Code Horror Comics, the original art edition. You are going to dig the hell out of this. If you love horror comics and pre-code horror comics, I think you will find this is a must. There's stuff in here that has never seen print, and certainly in one book, these have never been together in a single volume. There's no doubt about that. And some of the stories that are in here have never seen print. The original art stories have never been printed before. So I would say at least half of this book, the contents have never seen print anywhere else. So there's something to consider. And so 21 of these suckers sold, my good fiends. And tonight, Horror Mike's doing a little celebrating. Oh, yes, I am doing a little bit of celebration. So you'll have to bear with me, my good fiends. First, I present my favorite skull mug. Okay. Yes, it's I call him Scully for obvious reasons. My favorite skull mug here. Okay. Secondly, I present a bottle of Cook's champagne. Oh yes, that fine champagne, extra dry. And I'm gonna pop this sucker right now and commence drinking it. Yes, folks, because it has been a hell of a week, and it turned out to be so far the greatest week of the year for yours truly, Horror Mike. I cannot believe it. 21 freaking books sold in a day, folks. That just blows my mind. I cannot thank you all enough. The people that have bought books, I'm just overwhelmed. It's incredible. So let me just pop this baby. There we go. Got to make sure that the sucker doesn't overflow. Doesn't look like it. Oh my God! No, just kidding. I'm kidding, of course. Cooked champagne, extra dry. It's a fine beverage. Let me just pour a little bit of this, folks. Just give me a second. There we go. That's pretty good. First, a toast to all of you guys. Thank you for coming and watching the show. And if you bought a book, many thanks for buying a book or a movie, over the past couple of years since the show's been going. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you hanging out with me on a Friday night. It's the greatest thing in the world. So this toast is for all of you guys. That's a fine beverage. It's extra dry, folks, and I like it that way. Sometimes you get that semi-sweet type thing, and it's just undrinkable. I would rather go with an extra dry, personally. That does the trick, folks. So during this evening, Horror Mike may be a little off kilter. It's the way things go, my good fiends. But without further hesitation, let's check out the chat and see who's in with us on this fine FrightDay evening. Oh, my Lord. Okay. Good God. Let me go up to the top. Apex is with us. Hello, Apex. Great to see you, my good man. Werewolf by Lunchtime is here. It's my favorite Saturday morning breakfast show time again with Mike and the gang. Absolutely, Werewolf. It is great to see you, my man from the future. Now, Werewolf is in Australia, so he is 13 hours into the future, folks. And he often gives me stock tips. Yeah, that's what I'm saying right there. With that, Kevin Hellon is here. Hello, Kevin. Great to see you, my good fiend. Jacob Bornowski is here. Hello, Jacob. Great to see you, man. Paul O'Neill is here. Hello, Paul. Fantastic to see you, my good sir. There we go. Apex says, come on, eat the heart. You know you want to. Of course. Have a heart, eat a heart. What I always say. Hot babe serial killer. She's a hot babe and she's a serial killer. Yes. Intense Webs is here. Hello, Intense Webs. Great to see you. Apex says, congrats on 2K subs, Horror Mike. Well, thank you. Yes, I had that show a few weeks ago, Apex, but I thought you were on that show. I could have sworn you were there. But thank you. I appreciate that, my good man. Hey, yeah, and congrats to Apex for hitting his 700 subscribers. Apex, drop your link in the chat to your channel. Folks, you should check out Apex Comics. I try to catch them live as much as possible. It really kind of varies depending on when he has his show. But it's well worth it. You should check it out. And Apex, please drop that link in the chat, my good fiend. Fireball Comics is here. Hello, Fireball Comics. Good to see you, my fine sir. Horror Mike saw the light. There you go. I saw the light. Did you see that movie? The Hank Williams film? It was interesting. Oh, Steve Harrison is here. Hello, Steve Harrison. How are you doing? No surprise you sold them so fast. Well, there's 100, folks. I sold 21 in a day. So at this rate, They should be sold out by the end of May, I would say. Maybe sooner. I don't know, but yeah. So that's kind of the way that's going. Apex says support Horror Mike, and he's got the. Oh, great! Thank you for that link, folks. You can click on that link if you want to purchase this book. My brand spanking new book, Pre-Code Horror Comics, the original art edition. 126 pages, folks. 12 original art stories. Okay. Absolutely freaking fantastic. It turned out beautifully. Not only that, but you got just an amazing assortment of original art covers and their final published full color covers in here with the info down at the bottom, as you can see. It's loaded, folks. Even unpublished covers. Check this out. This is an unpublished cover from Black Cat Mystery Comics, early 1950s. That is a cover that was never published, drawn by Warren Kremer, one of the pre-code masters. No doubt about that. Absolutely fantastic cover. Don't know why they never published it, but it is a beauty. And you'll find a few others inside Pre-Code Horror Comics, the original art edition. My good fiends. Now, let me just drop one link in here. Oh, there it is. Ah, crap. Come on, man. There you go. Oh, he's giving me grief, but holy shit. Well, make that 22 sold. Let me just bought one. Okay, where am I? There I am. I'm dropping the direct eBay link into the chat, folks. There you go. A lot of people prefer eBay. Now, on my website, if you get it directly, it's $14.95 plus shipping, right? Because that's going through PayPal. PayPal. You can use Venmo, or you can use a credit card or debit card directly off my website. On eBay, of course, they charge a much larger fee, so it's $16.95 on eBay plus shipping. And but a lot of people just prefer to use that, you know. So there is the link to eBay, and there is the link to my website. And Apex was kind enough to post that. And from there, you can choose, because it has the links to buy it off of the website or on eBay. So there you go. Steve saying, how lows? Buy the book direct from Mike. Paul O'Neill is suggesting. Indeed, Paul, and many thanks. I'm going to give you guys specific shout outs here, but I got to get through this through the chat. Good Lord. Good excuse to have a breakfast beer with you, Mike. Indeed. Mastrovia, my friends. Okay, let's get back to it. Steve says, a toast to Mike's book success. Hoorah. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that, man. Cheers, Werewolf. And everybody. Steve says, hope all's well. Apex got me a Space Spirit graphic novel this weekend. Wallywood art. What's next? Ghost Clinic horror mugs. Gary Carlisle's here. Hello, Gary. Great to see you, my good man. Gotham City Comics. Excellent. Yes, Gotham City, I got your email. Which one? I got your email, then I sent you that invoice. I don't know if you sent another one after that, but I did send the invoice. So that was the last thing I got. So I sent that to you. I hope you got that. There you go. Apex, sub to his channel, folks. There's Apex Comics channel. I wish I was a spaceman. Hey, Fireball. Okay. Fireball just bought a copy of the Pre-Code Horror book. Thank you, Fireball Comics. I appreciate that, my good man. And once again, folks, that is the eBay link to buy the book. I'll just keep showing this all night, folks. Of course, I'm so proud of my little baby here. Now, that is, of course, a fantastic cover, original art cover right there. The cover itself, Bernard Bailey from Weird Mysteries #4. And I consider Bernard Bailey, especially as a cover artist, one of the greatest pre-code cover artists. Now, Bernard Bailey famously also, of course, he was the co-creator of The Spectre. I don't know if people realize that back in 1939, and his stuff, he's legendary. Bernard Bailey is just one of the greatest freaking comic book artists, in my opinion. This is one of the most insane comic book covers for issue #4 of Weird Mysteries. Had to be the cover. It absolutely had to be the cover. Now, I'm going to put this down for a second. When I was doing my documentary Haunted Thrills, I went to New York a couple of times. And one time I went to Metropolis Collectibles and interviewed Vincent Zerzolo. Vincent Zerzolo, in his office, he has this. He has the original art framed and hanging in his freaking office, folks. Good Lord. Absolutely amazing. But yeah, so I'll be flaunting that, throughout the evening. Now let's see what Werewolf says here. Australian $50 postage for your book on eBay, Mike. That's 32 US to Australia. Yeah, on eBay, right? That's the price eBay sets, Werewolf. I mean, and as we know, one thing you guys should be aware of, this thing weighs a pound, okay? This is not some lightweight comic book. This is a book. It's 126 pages. It's magazine size. It weighs a pound. Once it's in, packed and everything and ready to go, it weighs 18.5 ounces, okay? 18.5 freaking ounces. It's not like a comic book. It's hardcore. And we all know, and Werewolf, if anybody knows, Werewolf knows. And anybody from UK or Canada that gets stuff from the United States, shipping costs are insane. They're freaking nuts. I don't know how they get away with it. It's absolutely crazy. I believe that, Australian $50 is, I think, something like, wasn't that like, yes, $32. Folks, $32 just to ship this book to Australia. That's double the price of the freaking book. That's insanity. And it's a book. There should be international media mail. That's what I'm saying. But there isn't. You just get totally ripped off. Of course, I send this media mail in the United States, and it costs about $4.50. Anywhere in the U.S., that's the price. They really need to figure out something because, it's like there's just so many people in the UK, in Australia, in Canada, and elsewhere that are getting reamed by these ridiculous prices. you know. And so here's one thing I want to tell you guys. Werewolf, anybody else that's like in UK, Canada, Australia, in another country, here's what I will do. If you buy the book, for example, through eBay or through my website, doesn't matter. What I will do is, and these are for people watching right now, people in the chat. The book cost me, with the backing board, you know, bagged and board, the book cost me $11. That is, you know, basically the cost of it. So if I'm selling them for 15 on my site and 17 on eBay, basically off of my site, after the, you know, I get the percentage, I'm making like $3.50 per sale. Not much, folks. I'm going to take that off. So basically, if you buy it through eBay, I don't know how much I'll be able to take off, because it's based upon what eBay finally, what they take out of it. That's why it's $16.95, because they charge more. Their fee is bad. But for instance, on my site, through PayPal, I know the fee is like 3%, somewhere in there. So what I will do is I will reimburse you $4. So I don't make a dime, right? That's it. So you're just buying the book at cost, and you're paying for the shipping, which is all I can do. So that's my offer to anybody that's in, especially UK, Canada, Australia. You know, the only thing I can offer you is approximately $4 off, which would be my profit on the thing, you know, because the postal is just ridiculous, you know. And then it kind of, the problem with it is that it tends to exclude a lot of people, because, you know, I mean, geez Louise, when you're paying double the actual cost of the book just for shipping, as Werewolf would be doing, it's bad enough, you know. That's what I'm saying. So that's my offer to anybody. I'll just knock off my profit and ship it to you at cost, you know, plus whatever they charge for shipping. I have nothing to do with shipping prices. So there you go. Gotham says, okay, I will take care of that now. Okay. Right. Yes. I hope you, if you didn't get that email, let me know, Gotham, and I'll resend it. Just bought the pre-code original art book. Thank you, Apex. I really appreciate that, man. Library rate. Yep. That's very nice of you, Mike. I will celebrate with another beer. Yes, yes. My good fiend. My good fiend. I'll tell you. You know, extra dry champagne actually tastes pretty good. I'm not really, typically not really into champagne, because usually if you go somewhere, people have champagne, it's usually like kind of semi-sweet or something. I don't know. Sometimes it makes me sick, actually. But the extra dry stuff is just like really, it's good. And you know, cooks, folks, when you're entertaining guests, think about cooks, extra dry champagne for those special occasions. Okay, so let me go back up here, guys, before we get on with the show. We got Apex. Yeah, I just want to point out and say thanks to Apex, who just bought a book. Kevin, who actually just bought 2. Okay, Kevin bought 2. So thank you, Kevin. I really appreciate that, my good man. Paul O'Neill as well. Thank you, Paul. I really appreciate it, my good fiend. I'm probably going to miss a few people in here. And oh yeah, Fireball, I believe, just got one, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, he did. Thank you, Fireball. I really appreciate that, my good man. You're a gentleman and a scholar, and not necessarily in that order. Okay, guys. Intense Web says, did you just pay for another beer with Mike's profit? Good. You know, come on, man. You got to do it. Apex says, Cook's future sponsor of the Horror Mike Show. Could you imagine? I don't think they would get past the exploitation films, Apex, but it would be hilarious. Maybe I could find, an alcoholic beverage that would do that, would sponsor my show. I wonder if Alice Cooper's got an alcoholic beverage. He'd be perfect. Gotham says, I'll pay. Thank you. Gotham City. Yes, Gotham City just bought several copies for the store. Folks, people watching right now, if you don't know what Gotham City Comics is, Gotham City Comics is based in Arizona. He has a fantastic store that is more than a store. It's like a museum devoted to science fiction, horror, and fantasy. It is beyond comic books. It gets heavily into films. The props that he has in his store are absolutely stunning. It's like walking into a museum. What happened is that he was kind enough to be at his store. We did a live show. This is a few months ago. So he walked through his store showing the various things. You can watch that on my channel, folks. It's just look through the live shows and you'll see Gotham City Comics. Absolutely fantastic. It'll blow your mind. Some of the things that he has on display are fantastic. And at that time, he had copies of my reference comic book. I think that's more accurate to say, Splash of Horror, Volume 1. So he had that. It was great seeing it in the store. And Gotham, if you're listening or watching right now, I would love to see if you can send me a photo when you get the books in and on display. That would be fantastic, man. Thank you again, my good sir. Werewolf says, haha, Intense Webs, I'm always stocked with beer. Steve says, Dan Aykroyd has Skull vodka in Great Skull bottles. Yes, I've seen that. Quite good. Gotham City is a great rewatch. So much you'll notice each time you do. Yes, it is. It's fantastic, folks. It's one of those things like if you're a science fiction, horror, fantasy film nut like me and many other people like Steve, most of the people that are watching the show right now, you got to see this stuff. You're just going to trip. It's really quite amazing. That is, hold on, let's see. Just purchased your book through your website, Mike. Thank you, Werewolf. Excellent, my good man. And cheers to you, my good fiend. And once again, a toast to all of you, whether or not you've bought my book, although buying my book would even help. But it's not necessary. Your being here is quite enough for Horror Mike. It warms my heart, my cold, cold heart. Wait a second. Okay. I'm going overboard, folks. But thank you, Werewolf. I appreciate that. Gotham City says, when we get our new life-size prop and your new book, and maybe we can do another live stream. I'm all over it, Gotham City. Folks, have you heard that? Yes. Get ready. In the not-so-distant future, I think we're going to do another live stream from Gotham City Comics. It is going to be freaking fantastic. And Gotham City, if you would, you've got a wrench. Could you drop your link in the chat I know it's Batcave Comics, I think. I'm pretty sure it's batcavecomics.com. I just want to, if you could officially drop that in, folks, please go check it out. Also, or if you want Gotham City, drop the link to your channel in the chat. That would be fantastic. Steve says, I look forward to it. Gotham, yes. That's going to be a great show, folks. You're going to want to check it out. Apex says, I find these pre-code comics for ideas in writing and drawing my own horror tales. Yes. Yeah, they're very inspirational. Matter of fact, a lot of people don't realize this or don't really think about it. But especially if you read a lot of pre-code horror comics, Golden Age comics, late 40s into the early 50s, up into the Comics Code 1955. And then you watch shows, for instance, like The Twilight Zone or Night Gallery or Outer Limits. Suddenly you see where some of these people got ideas to do some of those stories for Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, Night Gallery, etc. They were getting them from pre-code comics, folks. No doubt about that. Like there's a few just dead-on examples, precise, I kid you not, examples of where they quote unquote were very inspired. Rod Serling was very inspired by pre-code horror comics. Look, I'm not knocking Rod Serling. Obviously, one of my favorite television producers of all time. But he was into them. Don't let him tell you otherwise. When you have a seance and you talk to him, don't believe him if he says he wasn't reading pre-code horror comics. There we go, folks. Batcavecomic.com. That is the Gotham City Comics website. And also check out his channel, his YouTube channel. He's always posting with comics that he gets in the store. I see posts. It's not just limited to that, but he does have like short videos, like the latest DC, the latest indie comics, etc. So if you want to see the latest stuff, what's coming out, subscribe to Gotham City Comics. No doubt about that. That's really, really a good way to go. Steve says, yes, Mike, the Marvel people did too. The hideous Sun Beast. Oh, the hideous Sun Beast. Arr. Gotham City, if you go to the site and scroll down, all of the links are there. There you go, folks. Jacob says, I read a weird science the other day where an alien entered a guy's body through his mouth and then later burst out of his chest on an operating table, almost exactly like the scene in Alien. Yes, Jacob, and also you may want to check out the movie It, the Terror from Beyond the Space, It, the Terror from Beyond Space, from the mid-1950s. Now, they sued Dan O'Bannon and Ronald Shusett from Alien, because they claimed it was just a ripoff of It, the Terror from Beyond Space. They lost, but there are some incredible similarities. Let's just put it that way. Incredible similarities with both films. Now, there's no chest bursting scene, but once again, it's one of those things in reality, folks. A lot of people, we all read and watch a lot of stuff. At some later date, we may think of an idea and go, hey, that's a great idea. And then you write it. Maybe it's a short story. Maybe it's a movie, whatever. And then somebody tells you, hey, man, that's a ripoff of that story, blah, 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 where you didn't mean to. You were just influenced. And it's one of those things that's floating around in your head, and that's probably the case with Dan O'Bannon and Ronald Shusett with Alien. These guys were horror science fiction nuts, like us. And so you read a lot, you watch a lot, and you absorb a lot. So that's probably the case. Comics influence TV and movies and vice versa. Eye of the Beholder. Rip off DC comic. Yeah, well, it depends on the date, Steve. You got to look up the date of, what was written first or produced first. Jacob, thanks, Horror Mike, for the recommendation. Oh, you're very welcome, Jacob. Yeah, man, It, the Terror from Beyond Space is really a good film. You can watch it on, I think it's on YouTube, guys. It was on Tubi. I don't think it's on Tubi anymore. I may be mistaken, but it's on YouTube. It's a very good 1950s film. And you'll just be kind of shocked at the similarities to Alien. Okay. There are some really amazing similarities. Anyone catch the Fallout TV show? No. Nope. Haven't seen that. I did catch... I'm going to be covering this soon, ladies and gentlemen, but did any of you guys ever watch that show from Sci-Fi Channel? It was, I think, 2015 or so. It's called Helix. It only lasted 2 seasons, and it is completely batshit crazy, but it's really entertaining. Like, the one thing about the show, both seasons, even though there were like just gaping plot holes in the show, no doubt, I think people would agree with that. It was so well done, like well photographed, well directed, well acted for the most part, really well done. Just amazing for a Sci-Fi Channel series. It only lasted 2 seasons. Great concepts that were floating around that they were kind of trying to kind of fit a square peg in a round hole, and some of the, with some of the plot sequences. But it's on Tubi now, folks, and I highly recommend it, man. I watched it all, over a few weeks period, because it was actually really gripping in some weird way. I'm not saying it was like some great science fiction series, but highly entertaining. Just really entertaining stuff, especially from the Sci-Fi Channel. It could be the best series I've ever seen produced from the Sci-Fi Channel. Helix is what it's called, and it's now on Tubi. I will be covering that soon. Terminator had a lawsuit from Outer Limits. That was Harlan Ellison that sued, and he won, Steve Harrison. Harlan Ellison sued for the episode called Soldier that he wrote. He sued James Cameron and whoever it was, Universal, I guess, and he won. And they had to put, based on a story by Harlan Ellison, in the credits. And, of course, money, whatever the hell money he got. I've heard of Helix, but have never watched it yet. It's on Tubi now, Apex. Fallout is great. It had a heavy 50s vibe that I find quite good. I saw Helix and agree. Well done and fun. Yeah, it's just really well done, and it's a lot of fun to watch, even though some of it just doesn't make a lick of sense. Like, they're just doing this with these concepts, and some of the characters literally flip during the show. I mean, during the 2 seasons. You're just like, okay, why is that character now acting this way when he was acting this way before? Stuff like that. But still, it just remained compelling, folks. Helix. I watched the first 2 episodes, Steve, really enjoying it. And I've got to watch this Fallout. Where is Fallout? Is that on Tubi? I'm going to file a lawsuit against Apex just for the heck of it. Eric is... Wait a second, it's Eric on the scene. Hello, Eric. Good to see you, my good man. A toast to you, my good man, Eric Boyd, on this fine and fiendish FrightDay evening. Fallout is on Prime. Well, god dang it. When are they going to get it When is it going to be on Tubi? Is my question. All right, folks. Good Lord. Okay, folks. We've got a jam-packed show here. There's just so much going on. Let me check a couple things real quick. Okay. That's holding it. That's hanging in there. Oh, yeah. Here's one thing real quick for you guys because this just dropped. I think you're going to want to check this out. Okay. YouTube, this guy, MSA Matthew, he's the guy that's been doing the Shadow over Innsmouth motion comic series. You guys should really check this out. I'm going to put it up here for a second just so you can take a gander at it. There we go. All right, now he's got part 3 up. So there's 3 freaking parts so far. I imagine this is going to be like considering the length of the novella, probably a 10 to 12 parter, I would think. But this is so freaking cool, man.
I'd long before resolved to limit my observations to architecture alone, and I was even then hurrying toward the square in an effort to get quick transportation out of this festering city of death and decay, but the sight of old Zadok Allen set up new currents in my mind and made me slacken my pace uncertainly. I had been assured that the old man could do nothing but hint at wild, disjointed, and incredible legends, and I had been warned that the natives made it unsafe to be seen talking to him. Yet the thought of this aged witness to the town's decay, with memories going back to the early days of ships and factories, was a lure that no amount of reason could make me resist. After all, the strangest and maddest of myths are often merely symbols or allegories based upon truth, and old Zadok must have seen everything which went on around Innsmouth for the last 90 years.
Okay, folks. I can't show you, obviously, I don't want to get, once again, bounced off of the live show. But that's just a little bit of part 3 of Shadow over Innsmouth. It's really good. This series is freaking great. What they've done is they have taken Conrad Feininger's narration. He did a audio story for Shadow over Innsmouth, right? So they took his audio. Then they took Tanab Gao's artwork. This is the artwork you're seeing here. It's a manga of Shadow over Innsmouth that he did a few years ago. And they put it all together into this quote-unquote motion comic of Lovecraft's The Shadow over Innsmouth. And it's just really good. You can watch all 3. You can watch all 3 parts back to back. This is it. Once again, that is the YouTube channel. Highly recommended if you're into Lovecraft. If you want a really cool story, Shadow over Innsmouth is one of Lovecraft's greatest stories. Yeah, I don't think many people would deny that. It's definitely in his top 10, easily. It's fantastic. So that's what's going on. Before we get into the Blood Island Babes. Oh, yeah. Woo! Folks. Okay. It is because you're a bad man teasing us with Fembat, Apex Comics. Lowell reminded me of Mr. Bill. Okay. Great narration. It is fantastic narration. Werewolf, you should check it out. Asylum Beyond the Dead is here. Hello, Asylum. Good to see you, my good man. Steve says, had a small flood. Box full of Lovecraft books before the water soaked through the box. Oh, that would have been tragic right there. Good Lord. Okay. All right, folks. So that was a little bit of Lovecraft. New Lovecraft adaptation. So now what I want to do. First, before we get into the actual movies and showing you some stuff online that you're going to find really interesting, let's talk about the Blood Island trilogy. Now, this was a trilogy of films produced in the Philippines from 1968 to 1970. Brides of Blood was the first movie that was made in 1968. And this is the DVD, folks. Brutal orgy of ghastly terror. Starring Kent Taylor, John Ashley, and Beverly Hills, Century City, where everything's nice and pretty. To quote, of course, the Circle Jerks. But in any case, this is Brides of Blood on DVD. Love it. I got these years ago when they came out, right? Because I love the covers. I didn't have any of these films. They're probably still available on oldies.com. Maybe I don't know. I kind of think that they're out of print, but I have seen them on eBay. So you can find these on DVD on eBay and of course on Blu-ray as well. But I love the way they package these, the covers. So this is the first film, Brides of Blood, which might be the best. Brides of Blood is batshit crazy, folks. It's like a bad acid trip that you somehow enjoy, and you're just totally in on it. You know, it is completely crazy. It's hard to believe. I mean, 1968, man. Eddie Romero directed these films, and they're really well shot. The cinematography is actually pretty damn good in these films. But they are insane. The stories are totally insane, highly entertaining. The next film in 1969, of course, is Mad Doctor of Blood Island with that incredibly lurid cover. Oh, yes. Now, that's supposed to be Angelique Pettyjohn there, getting menaced by the creature. Hideous zombies lusting for bizarre human pleasures. Mad Doctor of Blood Island. Oh, yeah, folks. On DVD. There we go. Once again, oldies.com. And the last film, 1970. Beast of Blood. Unbelievable. It lives. Starring John Ashley and Celeste Yarnell, folks. Celeste Yarnell. Now, the one thing I'm going to do tonight, and I'm going to show this to you right now, because I want you guys in the studio audience to consider the four babes of Blood Island. And we're going to do a little bit of a, rate the babes of Blood Island later on. But first, let me just show you this little primer, okay? So you guys know what's up with this. So there you go, folks. You got Beverly Hills, Celeste Yarnell, Angelique Pettyjohn, and Liza Belmonte, which I consider to be the four main female actresses in the film. They really are. They, let's be serious about Beast of Blood and the Blood Island films, folks. Those are the four main babes. That's what I'm saying. So think about those, roll them over in your mind, okay? Not too hard. And we're going to rate them, okay? 1 to 4. We got to do it. We have to do it. For me, it's actually pretty damn tricky because if you've watched the movies, they're all really good, respectively, in each one of these films. Beast of Blood, the last one, which is probably a bit gorier than the other ones, has Celeste Yarnell. And Celeste Yarnell is, Celeste Yarnell, folks. I mean, absolute hottie. She was in, at least several notable films, a few erotic vampire films, for example. She was in Star Trek, the original series, as I recall, stuff like that. So there you go. Now, this is Beast of Blood, and the last film in the trilogy. And I just love that cover. I mean, that is just absolutely fantastic. And I love the series. It's really good. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean anything, but, you know, I was reading an interview with Quentin Tarantino a while back. This is a few years ago. And he was like, oh, I love the Eddie Romero Blood Island films. They're so entertaining. And I got to agree. It's kind of like those were Grindhouse films, really before Grindhouse had a name. You know, to me, Grindhouse really happened in the 70s and kind of continued into the 80s. But this is late 60s stuff, you know, and they're really quite good. They're really quite good. So let me show you a couple of things that have happened. Now, I was talking last week, and I was telling you guys that I might be able to show you, with some luck, show you some comic books. Yes, there are Blood Island comics, folks. I didn't get them in time. So that's going to be next week. As a matter of fact, next week I'm going to be doing a video about the Blood Island comics that I'm about to get in the mail. Okay. So that's going to be a hell of a thing, and I'll probably show them on next week's show. But let me show you a little bit about that. This is something I didn't realize. I don't know if you guys ever heard about this. I sure hadn't. I missed them. I only heard about this like a month ago, and it was too late. Okay, we're on the Kickstarter, folks. This is Brian Yuzna's Blood Island Jungle Horror Comics and Tiki Mugs. Yeah, that's the same Brian Yuzna, folks, that produced the Reanimator films, directed by Stuart Gordon, for Christ's sake. He's also, of course, Society, another film that he did. Brian Yuzna did a ton of films in the 80s and 90s. You guys, I'm sure, are familiar. He's certainly a name in the indie horror business, you know, especially from that period, from the 80s and 90s. And so he decided to put together this series of comic books called Tales of Blood Island. All right. And let me show you a few things from it. Now, there's a video. We're going to take a look at that in a second. I'm going to increase the... He's got all kinds of things. Now, this is an old campaign. Unfortunately, it's long dead, folks. But there is going to be a new one sometime this year. So your old pal Horror Mike will probably get the scoop on that, and I'll let you know when that thing goes live, because, you know, I've got the feelers out, folks. 2 comic books have come out so far. There's definitely a third one coming out soon, which means a new campaign. So in any case, check this out. So there's, you know, various things you can add-ons. You can get like a $25 Blood Island Rummy card game. Oh, yes. Now, those are the 2 comic books, issue number 1. The original comic book and the variant cover, cover A, cover B. This is a hilarious picture of Brian Yuzna. See if I can make this a little larger. Oh, yeah. That's better. Brian Yuzna hanging out in the cabana with a copy of Tales of Blood Island. And that is just, it's just hilarious. Check out that the freaking cabana shirt or Hawaiian shirt he's got. Man, I would love to get one of those. And that was part of the campaign. Beast of Blood shirt. That is just beauteous right there. As you can see, this is the first campaign, which went until September 13th, 2021. Then the second campaign was in 2023. And I'm hoping that here in 2024, they're going to have the third campaign. I'm really, really hoping that goes live sometime this year. So we'll see what happens. But let me roll back up. I'm going to show you a little bit of this video. I don't want to get bumped again by YouTube. You know how those things go. So let's watch a little bit of it. What the hell's going on? God dang it. Okay.
All the way. I'm Brian Yuzna, producer of Reanimator, director of Society, and maker of just a lot of weird horror movies. I want to tell you about my latest weird tale. It's actually a comic book. It's called Tales of Blood Island, based on the classic features shot in the Philippines in the 1960s, and it's Tiki horror all the way. Weird monsters, cliffhanger endings, drawn by the amazing Steven Festilli. Tales of Blood Island comic is a prelude to a movie series, as wild, maybe crazier, with more monsters than you can shake a stick at from the South Pacific. But before we do the movies, we need your help to fund the comic. We support this. We have lots of cool swag to get. The comic books, of course. Blood Island shirt. Tiki bar stuff. Tiki mug. If you're a fan of tiki horror, tiki bars, tiki drinks, tiki mugs, or just an...
Folks, are you a fan of tiki horror? What is that, a niche, a new niche I wasn't aware of? In any case, that's all I'm going to show. I don't want to get bounced again by YouTube, but it's highly entertaining, folks. I cannot wait for the third campaign, and I cannot wait to get the comics. It's issue number 1. I'm getting in the mail along with a couple of posters. And I'm going to do a video on it next week, and I'll show you guys on next week's show, you know. But I just thought you'd get a kick out of that. So that is what Brian Yuzna's been up to. The dude he's doing the comic books. He wants to go back and make a couple of Blood Island films. Can you imagine Brian Yuzna doing some, going back and hopefully, and I'm sure he will be, he'll be channeling Eddie Romero, the original director, and making a few more Blood Island films, man. Oh my God. I would love to be in on it. As a matter of fact, I may have to contact him and see if he needs any help. Maybe he needs another, like a B-roll cameraman with a Super 16 rig. I don't know. In any case, folks, without further ado, let me show you the Blood Island trailer that I whipped up here. I think it's really quite nice.
The following feature has been rated R by the Motion Picture Association of America.
Now, from the world of the gruesome and grotesque, comes your most horrifying meeting with nerve-chilling fear.
A hideous journey into the dark world where nightmares are born, where unbelievably cruel, barbaric customs are still practiced.
Aren't you growing up a little fast, little boy?
You tell me.
It's an unbelievably terrifying experience, but you must see all this for yourself, if you're brave enough. It's more fantastic than science, forbidden secrets of the weird and sinister scientists of doom. You'll never forget the creature without a head, controlled by an insane artificial brain. When you see the most shocking screen experience of them all, Beast of Blood.
Fantastic. I just look, folks, you know, these were very low budget films shot in the Philippines. For the money, you can't get a lot better. The cinematography is excellent. The lighting, camera work is really quite good. I mean, it's exceptional when you look at the other shit. We're about to take a look at some, you know, garden variety early 70s exploitation films that don't even hold a candle to the Blood Island series. And it's just, they're really entertaining. Now, these films are not yet on Tubi. I recommend them. You know, you can get them once again, like for instance, these DVDs I got years back when they came out. And you can still you can see them. They're for sale on eBay, for example, and probably elsewhere. Highly recommended. You can still get them for $10 or so. You know, they're not really that expensive, and it's a great trilogy. So once again, with the trilogy, you have 1968, Brides of Blood. I consider it to be the best of the three because it's got this creature in it that's on the cover, that big creature that is so weird, and it's such a bizarre film. It is so wonderfully bizarre. Highly recommended. Brides of Blood. All of them are really good, but that was the one. Brides of Blood. Beverly Hills is in this one, right? And then Angelique Pettyjohn, oh yes, comes in for Mad Doctor of Blood Island with that just stunning, incredibly lurid cover right there. 1969, folks. So well done. So well done. And then the final film, 1970, Beast of Blood. Of course, once again with John Ashley, who is in all three of the films, and he's really good. And Celeste Yarnell is our babe on Blood Island for Beast of Blood for the third film. And this is probably the most graphic, the goriest of the three. So there you go. Let me get back to the chat. I'm sure, good Lord, a few people have chimed in. Holy Toledo, folks. Okay, let me start here. John Ashley did a ton for Hemisphere Productions, yes. Nothing petty about your jock after you see Angela. Okay. It pays if you're a mad doctor of Blood Island. Beverly Hills, that's where I want to be. Weezer song. 2 of those were on the original Star Trek. Well, yeah, Angelique Pettyjohn and Celeste Yarnell, Fireball. Yes, you're absolutely right. And we're going to rate those girls in just a few minutes. I just thought I would show you guys, some more video of them. Kevin says, let's be serious about Blood Island babes. Yes, that's what I'm trying to get a little serious here about the Blood Island babes. There's a great Tubi doc, Hemisphere Movies. Oh, really? Oh, wait a second. Was that the Machine Gun Maidens, Steve Harrison? There is one called, and I think it's called Machine Gun Maidens. And Eddie Romero, who made these films, features heavily into it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's correct. Freakaboogie is here. Hello, Freakaboogie, my good man. Society is so weird. Yes, it is a weird. That's Brian Yuzna right there. But good. Yes, it is. It's a hell of a freaking strange movie, man. Eric says Tiki titties. Apex says Tiki horror. Eric says Tiki tatas. Tiki tickler. Sneaky Tiki. Steve says sponsored cast and crew user reviews. The real life and ghastly death of Al Adamson. Yeah. Yep. Al Adamson. With Tiki tatas. After the Horror Mike Show, don't forget to visit his website, horroranthologymovies.com. Folks, do it today for the US of A. That's what I'm saying right now. I'd like to be on that film crew, yes. Beverly Hills. Beverly's Hills. Freakaboogie says. Yes, Beverly's Hills is the deal right there, folks. I want to be on Beverly Hills. Oh, my God. Beverly Hills, that's where I want to be. Al Adamson, yep. Al Adamson. Eddie Romero opened up Philippines for movie productions. Would there have been an apocalypse now if not for Blood Island Films? Hello, Horror Mike and lovely chat. Hello, Graphic Man. How are you doing? Much respect, Eric from Aspa 60. Hello, Aspa 60. Good to see you in the chat. A fine FrightDay evening to you. Fireball Comics says, according to IMDb, Beverly Hills was Beverly Powers and appeared on Perry Mason, Jack Benny, and Lucy. You are correct, sir. Beverly Hills, Century City, where everything's nice and pretty. That is the Circle Jerks punk song from the late 1970s, folks. Hey, Graphic Man, much respect, Apex, laughed my ass off. And, okay, folks. We're here. We've done it. We've looked at the trailers for the Blood Island films. One more time, I'm going to show the Blood Island babes, right? So once again, we have Beverly Hills, that from the first film, Brides of Blood. Angelique Pettyjohn from Mad Doctor of Blood Island, which is the second film. And then Celeste Yarnell from Beast of Blood, which was the third film. Now, Liza Belmonte is in a couple of the movies, but she's in them a lot. Okay, so she definitely counts, I think, along with the 3. I mean, they made I don't know what, who knows what the hell was going on in Eddie Romero's mind, or whoever was hiring these people, but they happened to get like these just obvious blondes for each of the freaking movies. Well, Liza Belmonte is, I believe, a Filipina actress, right? And she's hot. It's totally hot. And she's in at least, I believe, 2 of the films. So let me show you once again the video. Here we go. It's just a short vid. There you go, folks. There's the 4, right? So what I'm going to ask you to do right now is this. In the chat, we're going to go by the movies, right? So, Brides of Blood, that's Beverly Hills, okay? Mad Doctor of Blood Island is Angelique Pettyjohn, right? Who was, of course, also in Star Trek, the original series. And, of course, Celeste Yarnell was in Beast of Blood. And then Liza Belmonte was in 2 of the films. So she figures into it. So here's how we're going to do it. It's 1 through 4. Number 1 is Beverly Hills. Number 2 is Angelique Pettyjohn. Number 3 is Celeste Yarnell. Number 4 is Liza Belmonte. Okay, so give us your top 1, right? Once again, Beverly Hills is 1. Angelique Pettyjohn is 2. Celeste Yarnell is 3. Liza Belmonte is 4. You can either put their names or put the number in the chat. Whichever one you think is the hottest. We're rating for the hottest Blood Island babe. Okay? And I'm just going to show this short video one more time to refresh your memory. Okay? So do you guys get that? I'm going to do it one more time. I'm dropping mine in the chat right now. Okay. This is going to be interesting. I knew somehow that Apex was also going to go with 1. Beverly Hills. Folks, you have to see Brides of Blood to see what the whole film, to see what we're talking about. She is just really great. It's just, I don't know. It's hard to explain the way that she is in the film, in Brides of Blood. She's just, I mean, okay, she's like, her character, basically, she's married. It's a loveless marriage. So she's cheating on her husband, you know, almost with anybody she just runs into. It's hilarious. And so she's got this certain thing. I don't know what it is. Look, I think that objectively speaking, probably Celeste Yarnell is like the most beautiful of them. I mean, if you were going to do, and I'm sure people would say that, but there's something about Beverly Hills in the movie. And I'm talking about in the movies, folks, like the way that they are, or their characters, you know, not like they are in other films. Although I guess it's kind of unfair if you haven't seen any of the Blood Island films, just go off of what you know, generally feel about these actresses, right? So let's go down. Let's see what people have come in with. Okay. We're here. Oh, R is here. Hello, R. Great to see you on this fine Friday evening. Hello to you. Aspa60 says, Horror Mike, such great work. Have been screening these films for decades, owning them on 16 and Super 8. Yes. Yeah, man. They're absolutely fantastic. We should talk, Aspa60. You know, as a matter of fact, you know, I don't know if you've been here before, you've seen, we've actually, in semi-jest, we've been kicking around. I mean, I've got my gear. I've got, you know, 16 millimeter gear, lighting gear, the whole sound gear, everything from all the films that I've made throughout the years. I still have my gear. And so we've been talking about doing a movie. And the movie that we're talking about doing is Werewolf versus Nudist Colony, which is a possibility. Okay. And we could do it. So, but in any case, I digress. I'm sorry, folks. Freak-a-Boogie is first with 3, and that's Celeste Yarnell. And I don't blame you. Objectively speaking, she could be considered the hottest. However, Apex and I agree that number 1, Beverly Hills, it's just got something going. And Kevin is, Kevin knows as well. He knows it. He knows it. Fireball is 2134. Interesting. So Angelique Pettyjohn gets a number 1 ranking from Fireball, and she's hot. She's like, it was, let's put it this way, folks. They did a great job casting these women in the 3 movies because they're all really hot. They're also decent actresses, you know, that, you know, you're shooting in the Philippines. They're running through the jungles and stuff, getting attacked by monsters and shit. You know, it's difficult filming. You've got to be a real trooper. All of these chicks were total troopers, obviously, making these movies. No doubt about that. Angelique Pettyjohn, yeah, she's hot. Werewolf is going for Celeste Yarnell, and hard to deny that, man. Eric is also with Angelique Pettyjohn. Looks smoking hot. Of course, the classic Star Trek with that silver tit-hugging suit. You know what I'm saying? That she wore in that. Horror Mike. And you have good taste, sir. The number 1 there with Beverly Hills. R says number 1 as well, Beverly Hills. I think she's pretty. Yeah, she's pretty loose in the films. I'll tell you that right now. She's hot and ready in freaking Brides of Blood. What a movie, you guys. I kid you not. If you see this film, it may just warp you for good. I think it warped me. I'm waiting for Tubi to get all 3 of them, to get any of them, but especially the whole trilogy. They probably will sooner than later. Was Angelique Pettyjohn in a biker movie? Yes, she was. Apex, I don't know what it was, but there's a photo of her. She did a photo shoot with you know, stills for a movie, and she's on a Harley or something. One more time with the Blood Island horns. I'd be happy to sip tea with any of these profound actors. 1, 2, 3, and 4. They are all welcome. Didn't all come with different classifications depending on where they were screened. Yeah. Hey, look, as I said before, very tough call. Very tough. I just kind of say loosely number 1 for me, Beverly Hills. I don't know, because when you watch the movie, it's the way she acts. It's the way, there's a certain thing about it. I don't know. I really don't know exactly what it is, but I don't know. For me, she was somehow she was the tops. 4, she looks like a Tiki horror star. Yes, that is Liza Belmonte. Pop culture commerce, hello. Good evening to you, my fine fiend. Pop culture goes with number 4, Liza Belmonte, who is smoking hot, and I think she's in 2 of these films. You know, now John Ashley, of course, is in all 3 of them, and he gets the babes in all 3. He gets all 4 of them in these movies, folks. What a freaking bastard. Okay, that's what I'm saying right now, John Ashley. If you're watching the show, you probably are. You're a bastard. Okay, he nailed all 4 of them, folks, repeatedly in the jungle. Okay, probably drinking Tiki drinks or something. I don't know. Werewolf versus Nudist Colony. I'm still up for playing werewolf. Wow, Mike, let interview you. We'll be in touch. First time here, but certainly not the last. Brilliant work. Don't know what you're referring to, Aspa 60. Are you talking about First Man on Mars? Perhaps my film. It was shot on Super 16, by the way. Aspa 60, as a matter of fact. Now that you mention it, here's a very short trailer.
The countdown to terror has begun.
The signal's getting stronger now. It won't be long.
Come quick! The monster done ate my pappy!
Do you really think this was a bear, Doc?
Highly unlikely.
First man on Mars. Once he was human.
There's something shiny in the rock. This is really starting to sting.
Now a bloodthirsty monster, killing and devouring the young. And not so innocent.
Let's take a look at this, huh?
I'm gonna blast the thing back to hell.
Oh, shit.
First man on Mars.
You mean there's aliens out here? Shit. I don't want to get ducted in anal.
This film is not rated.
Sheriff, come quick. The monster done ate my pappy. And other classic lines from First Man on Mars, folks, which you can find also on eBay. If you go to eBay, you will find, if you go to my eBay store, you can find it right off of Oopsie Daisy. Right off of the Pre-Code Horror Comics book page, which is that's the Pre-Code Horror Comics original art edition book, folks. Now on sale. 22 sold in the last day, folks. It's just freaking fantastic. But you can find First Man on Mars. I'm also selling that. It's in my store. Oh, yeah. And, well, God, Eric is way the hell ahead of me. First Man on Mars available on Blu-ray via eBay. Thank you, my good man. I appreciate that. Okay, what the bloody hell? Oh, yeah, here we go. Werewolf versus Nudist Colony sounds great. Freaka Boogie says yes, and it could be quite excellent. We just need a budget, folks. We need a budget of about $2 million. No, just kidding. Like 30 grand would be great. 30,000 bucks. It's pocket change for a lot of people. Come on. You're made for the part Werewolf by Lunchtime. Angelique Pettyjohn looked kind of goofy in Star Trek with that hair. However, in this movie, she looks super sexy. And I love that revealing top she was wearing. Yes. Yeah, once again, the cinematography, the lighting, camera work in the Blood Island films is fantastic. I will pay to be in the movie, Kevin. There we go. John Ashley nailed 4 of those babes, shot the movie, and got paid. That is winning, folks, right there. What about the Twilight people with Pam Grier? We want to interview you, and yeah. Okay, Aspa 60. we want to interview you and about your films. Okay, are you saying you want to interview me about my films? Is that what you're saying? I just want to clarify that. And what is it for? Do you have a website? Can you post it or say the name? I'm not sure what if you have or is it your channel, Aspa 60? Please post that, Aspa. Or let me know. Fireball Comics, my chihuahua about jumped off my lap when that zombie astronaut burst through the door. Folks, First Man on Mars will make your chihuahua jump off your lap in terror. Okay? That's what I'm going to quote Fireball for the next round of ads. It'll be like, First Man on Mars made my chihuahua jump off my lap in terror. Fireball Comics, right there. That's a quote you can keep, folks. Pam Greer's still around, Colorado native. Okay, good Lord. What the? Nice job with the sales, Horror Mike. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, it's biggest sales I've ever had, Eric. I mean, in a one-day period, 22 books sold. Incredible. And people, if you're wondering, anybody that's just joined, I'm talking about my book, Pre-Code Horror Comics, the original art edition. It's 126 pages for the first time in print, right? In one book. There are 12 stories, original art stories. Here's the contents pages. 12 original art stories. And then on this side, dozens of preliminary covers, sketch covers, original art covers, and the final published full color covers. Let me show you a couple of examples. Okay. For example, here's the first story, which is Cavern of the Doomed, rendered by the great Bob Powell. And it is freaking fantastic. Now, as you may see, this book is magazine sized. So these images are quite big. And they are sharp as a tack. So not only are there 12 stories like that, but then you get stuff that nobody is so rarely seen. Check out the preliminary color sketch by Lee Elias, and then the final Black Cat Mystery number 51 cover. So in this book, you kind of get a process, right? You get, depending on the book and the source material that I had, this is just pretty much a classic example. Really great. This is Myron Foss. Check out that original art that Myron Foss did for Tales of Horror. I mean, that is just beautiful. It is so well done. They should have really made the image larger for the actual comic book, as you can see, the final published book, because that art is just fantastic, man. He really did a smash up job. So that's the type of stuff you're going to see. You're going to see original art covers, final published covers, preliminary sketches. I mean, some stuff. There are famous. Let me show. I'm going to show you one more. I don't want to give it away, folks, but you know what I'm saying. This is fantastic. Some artists that you may not even be aware of. Check out this. There is the original art cover by John Chilley for The Beyond from Ace Publications, and then the final published cover. It has all of the info, as you can see on the bottom. And once again, for example, this is one of the few unpublished covers that I have in this book. This thing may have never even seen print. This was a gorgeous Warren Kremer cover that was never used. It was supposed to be for Black Cat Mystery Comics from Harvey. Check out that freaking, and they just never used it, man. You know? So, as far as I know, first time in print, folks. I searched long and hard, believe me. This was like an accumulation of months of searching, deep diving to get all this stuff together into one book. Many, many months. All right, let's see if you can see that. There we go. All right, folks, we're starting off with the trio of Herschel Gordon Lewis flicks. Now, I am sure that many of you have seen at least one Herschel Gordon Lewis film. His movies are kind of, infamous, if you will. And it's incredible, too, when you consider it. Like, for instance, we're looking at 3 of his films, 2000 Maniacs, Blood Feast, and Wizard of Gore. The earliest being Blood Feast from 1963. Okay? And, of course, they're ultra low-budget films. I don't even know what the hell you'd call them. Just really kind of psychotic, quote-unquote gory films, although the gore is really fake-looking. That's all I can say. It's just fake-looking gore. I think a lot of people would agree with that, but boy, do they pour it on. And I'm going to show you some examples of that. I don't have a trailer for 2000 Maniacs, which is good, by the way. I recommend that, but I do have this trailer for Blood Feast. Once again, it is very gory, but just check out the gore, if you will.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to witness some scenes from the next attraction to play this theater. This picture, truly one of the most unusual ever filmed, contains scenes which under no circumstances should be viewed by anyone with a heart condition or anyone who is easily upset. We urgently recommend that if you are such a person or the parent of a young or impressionable child now in attendance, that you and the child leave the auditorium for the next 90 seconds.
There you go, folks. That's Blood Feast from 1963, the trailer. I don't know what to tell you. It's just like the gore is ridiculous. It's like, it's not very well done. Okay, and they like to use, Herschel Gordon Lewis liked to use a lot of it sensationalistically. And, you know, I don't know what to tell you. If you've seen some of these films, I can say this. Between 2000 Maniacs, Blood Feast, and The Wizard of Gore, probably the most entertaining is 2000 Maniacs. Okay, probably. Blood Feast kind of plods along. I mean, it's, you know, I guess if you're into that type of thing, you can check it out. But yeah, that's kind of basically where that's at with Herschel Gordon Lewis. Now we do have the Gore Girls, and this is the last Herschel Gordon Lewis film from 1972, labeled as a horror comedy, folks. That's what I'm saying right now. And I thought I had a trailer. Oh, it's part of the other thing. Yeah, it's part of the large trailer, which I can't really show you. It's really not, it's not much to talk about, folks. But in any case, there are at least 4 Herschel Gordon Lewis films on Tubi right now. So if you're interested, they don't appear to be cut. They don't appear to be censored from what I've seen. So that's a plus, I guess, you know. And if you're into Herschel Gordon Lewis films, well, it's your lucky day because Tubi has several. Now, as far as the next film, we're jumping into the 80s with this 1984 film called Screenplay. I saw this in the 80s, folks. It's kind of a surreal black and white, or primarily black and white film. It is a horror comedy. I would call it a surreal horror comedy. I don't have a trailer for it. You might want to check it out if you're into that type of thing. You know, let me show you the details on this. As it says, a detective investigating a series of murders discovers that they are similar to the slangs that occur in the new script by a screenwriter. Well, there you go. Okay, it's one of those, right? It's like the guy's writing stuff and it's really happening types of tropes. And yeah, Screenplay, 1984. As I recall, it was interesting. I haven't seen it recently. As I said, it's been years since I've seen it. But it seemed to be, you know, at least entertaining in a weird, surreal kind of way. Unfortunately, 1989's Fright House is not. Okay, it's just really not entertaining, and it's kind of sad. Let me give you the description here. This B-movie horror film anthology features 2 stories about witches getting ready to meet with the devil and a school teacher who never ages. And as you can see, starring Al Lewis. Yes, it's Al Lewis from The Munsters, right? And I don't know, Dwayne Jones from Night of the Living Dead is also in this film. But as far as Al Lewis goes, I'm not sure how they got him. But folks, this film is just bad with a capital B. I would say avoid it. It's really lame. And unfortunately, it is on Tubi. So it's one of those films to watch out for. Let's put it that way. Okay. Oh, God, the news doesn't get much better, folks. Scream Bloody Murder. Oh, yes, we have Scream Bloody Murder from 1973. Starting off a string of films made in 1973. Just really low-budget Grindhouse exploitation films. Here we go. Years after killing his father with a tractor and losing his hand, a man is set free from an asylum and uses his prosthetic hand for a killing spree. All right. Now, I do believe that I have a trailer. Yes, I do. Here we go, folks. This is Scream Bloody Murder, 1973.
I'm sorry, lady. I need the house.
Oh, God!
Matthew loved this house, so he killed the occupants and moved in. Only he didn't have a woman to share it with, so he took one.
I've lots of friends in the neighborhood. They'll miss me. They'll come looking for me.
They won't know where to look. They'll look for a little while and then they'll stop looking. And you'll be here with me, forever and ever. The captive female. Eat.
No.
Eat, or I'll cut your tongue out of your mouth.
You. I feel like a dog on a leash. Help me. Somebody help me.
Vera's clothes coming up.
I'll make you very happy, Daisy, very happy.
I do everything you tell me to. I eat when you want. I sleep when you want. I'm your prisoner.
Help me! Help me, somebody! Help me! Help!
You'll learn to count on me for everything.
Please, no! Help me! Help me! Please, please, help me! No, help me! Help me! Help me! Help me! Help me! Oh, please!
The captive female, a shocker, coming soon.
There you go, folks. Scream Bloody Murder, a.k.a. The Captive Female, from 1973. It's kind of a queasy film with no redeeming qualities. Let's put it that way. And look, I like sensationalistic grindhouse films, but they have to at least be somewhat compelling. This one is not, in my opinion. Now, some of you guys may find it interesting. I just did not. This next one is, good Lord. Last House on Dead End Street from 1973 once again. Oh my God, this film is, I can't even believe this movie is on Tubi, okay? As it says, after a year in jail, a young gangster decides to take vengeance on society by capturing 4 victims and making ultra-violent snuff films. Yes, it's one of those films, folks. And once again, well, the special effects, the gore effects aren't very good. It's just a queasy, sleazy little piece of exploitation from 1973 that I just didn't find very compelling whatsoever. Once again, Blood and Lace was a little better, actually. Not much, but a little better. Okay. From 1971. When her mother is killed, a teenage girl is sent to the orphanage of a mysterious woman and her handyman, both of whom have dark secrets. There you go. Blood and Lace. You might want to give it a try. It depends on what you're into. It's got its moments. Let's put it that way. There are some really good scenes in it. And then, of course, there are some very plotting scenes, as there are so often with these 1970s grindhouse exploitation films. Now we're getting somewhere, though. Oh, yes. We are getting somewhere. Let me get back to the chat real quick before we get to Torso. You seen it? Woohoo! We're getting a Torso. Good Lord. Okay. Apex says Herschel Gordon. what the fuck is Gordon Lewis? Okay. Okay. Eric, we'll talk later. Okay. Devil Flyer's here. Hello, Devil Flyer. Blood Feast look like when them fake healers try to make it look like they've removed illness from your body. Fake blood everywhere. Yes, kind of like that. PBR Street Gang is here. Hello, PBR Street Gang. How are you doing? Great to see you, my good man. That actor looks like Justin Long. Captive Female should be a remake. Intense Webs. I would find it interesting if there is real frontal skin in movie. Don't know which movie you're talking about. But that did give Kevin a lull. Vic Tayback, owner of Mel's Diner, is in Blood and Lace. You are correct, Apex Comics. All right, folks. Torso. I don't know if you got... Now, this was actually a rather famous film from 1973. Once again, we're on this 1973 kick. I remember seeing this at least back in the 80s because this was like an infamous Grindhouse horror film. And it's got its moments. There is no doubt about that. It's quite, it's very graphic. There's a lot of nudity. It's got everything going for it, As it says, a psychotic sex maniac in Italy preys on female co-eds until 4 college girlfriends go to a remote country villa to escape and find out he's there. There we go. And you know it, folks. For a film like Torso, indeed, I do have a little bit of a trailer for you.
What you have here are fragments of tissue found under the fingernails of one of your companions, barbarously murdered in the middle of the night 1 week ago. Our scientific analysis has traced them to this foulard, which was used to strangle Carol Peterson. If you have ever seen a scarf like this on any person you can identify, it is your duty to report it either to the police or the university authorities. I might add that no one in Perugia, either man or woman, is safe until this killer is captured and brought to justice.
That is one cool trailer, folks. I really dig the hell out of that Torso trailer, and I've seen the film. It's a good, it is a generally good speaking. It's a good, I would call it a giallo horror film. It's Italian. It just has that giallo element to it. It's definitely graphic. No doubt about that. Strong R-rated film. And it's on Tubi, believe it or not. So that's what I would kind of suggest that you check it out if you're into giallo films, that type of stuff. It's a good one to check out. Torso. Now, psyched by the 4D Witch. I can't tell you because honestly, I've never seen the damn film. Okay. I don't know what the hell's going on with this film, but I'm like, okay, what? Psyched by the 4D Witch. What the hell kind of a title is that? So I had to put it in here. It's also from 1973. I was kind of trying to keep with that early 70s theme, folks. But check it out. The ghost of a condemned witch from 17th century Salem, Massachusetts, guides a virginal college student through a dimension of magical sexcapades. There you go, folks. You've heard it here first. Psyched by the 4D Witch. It's on my list. I'm probably going to try to watch it, see what the deal is with that. I don't know. The last film on the list, also from 1973, Dr. Tar's Torture Dungeon. Can you take a guess what that's from, folks? Yeah, it's from The Case of Dr. Tar and Professor Feather from Edgar Allan Poe. As it says here, based on an Edgar Allan Poe story. A mass revolt inside a psychiatric institution leaves the patients in charge and the doctors and staff as slaves. Interesting. No. There's a new film. Oh boy. And geez. Made several years ago. It's really good. Michael Caine, I believe, is in it. A few other very good actors. And I want to say it's like something like Brookstone Asylum. I'm going to stick with Brookstone Asylum. And it's based upon the same Edgar Allan Poe story. I think it's called The Method or The Case of Dr. Tar and Professor Feather. Really cool Poe story. I love the latter adaptation. I have not seen this one, but I plan on watching it just to see how they do it, how they did it back in the early 70s. It looks very interesting. If you're a Poe fan, I think you're going to want to check this out. It's new on Tubi. Dr. Tar's Torture Dungeon. They had to kind of spice it up with that title, of course. All right, folks, let's get back to the comments here. Okay, Vic Tabak, owner of Mel's Diner, Blood and Lace. Yes. Werewolf, have you posted my book yet, Mike? Yes, it's in the future, Werewolf. I posted it in the future. 13 hours. Fireball Comics. There was an early 2000s all-girl Detroit garage rock band that went by the Gore Girls. Awesome stuff. I heard about them. Fireball Comics. I'm glad you brought them up. The Gore Girls. Very cool. Mustafa Idrim is here. Hello, Mustafa. Good to see you. Now, one thing, too, folks, is that some of the people that are here tonight watching, who have been watching, may also be from Rumble and BitChute. Yes, because I invite subscribers from both Rumble and BitChute as well over to watch the show on YouTube. As, of course, currently now, right as of now, I can only broadcast on YouTube. I have not gone, expanded, been able to get on to, like, for instance, to do a Rumble show. I don't think you can broadcast live on BitChute anyways. You can on Rumble, but I just haven't gone to that next level. So some people are coming over from Rumble and BitChute, which is great. And I welcome all of you that have done that. 4D Witch and Sexcapade, says Apex. Yes. R says, Tubi is really a treasure trove for movies. It is. Pound for pound, I think Tubi is probably the best film movie platform online. And I mean, what I mean there is that, yes, they don't have a lot of like exclusive made for Tubi series or movies, although they do have some. They've been doing those. You know, like Amazon and Hulu and all that shit. They have all of their exclusive series and movies and stuff. But as far as getting obscure films, man, Tubi has just been knocking it out of the park. There's stuff that you just don't see anywhere else, or it's rare. At least, you know, very rare that you see the stuff. Stonehurst Asylum. Thank you, Fireball. I had forgotten about that one. Yes, that is the name. Stonehurst Asylum. Highly recommended, folks. That is based upon the Edgar Allan Poe story of I believe it's called The Method of Dr. Tar and Professor Feather. Highly recommended. Really great cast, as I recall. Freakaboogie says, didn't know you were on Rumble. I'll subscribe over there too. Yes, I am Freakaboogie. Look, I could get kicked off YouTube any given day, folks. So they don't like me too much. Okay, let's just put it that way. All right, folks. Once again, I'm going to remove that. I'm back. And a toast to you all for being here on this fine FrightDay evening. I hope you enjoyed the show, by the way. I hope you enjoyed watching the various little trailers and listening to my bullshit for the last couple of hours. And once again, for anybody that came in late, my brand new book, Pre-Code Horror Comics Original Art Edition, it is out. It's available on eBay, and it's also on my website, horroranthologymovies.com, and also on ghostclinic.com, by the way. You may want to check it out. Yeah, I'm celebrating tonight. I've got my bottle of Cook's Extra Dry Champagne because in the last day, since it went live yesterday afternoon, I've sold 22 freaking copies, folks. And I think I've sold a few more during this program, which is fantastic. And I thank everybody who has bought a copy. I really appreciate it, you know. And I think you're going to dig the hell out of this book. It's 126 pages. It is magazine sized. It's all original art. 12 stories that are original art. I will show you a little example. Here's a little Howard Nostrand Dead End, which is a freaking great story. Holy shit. I mean, I was very careful to select really good stories, not just like, oh yeah, well, this is a original art. No, it's got to be a good story. It's got to be worth it to put it in there. Iconic Chamber of Chills, number 19. It gets better than this, folks. This is just the surface of Chamber of Chills, number 19. That is the original art, of course, by Lee Elias, and then the final published cover in color. One of the most iconic covers ever in pre-code horror comics out of everybody, including EC. No doubt about that. Pre-code horror comics, the original art edition, folks. Available on eBay and my website, horroranthologymovies.com and ghostclinic.com. Apex says, cheers, great show. Thank you, Apex. I appreciate it. My good man. Werewolf says, if you post my book via Concord, it will arrive before you post it. Yes. It's the wonder of time travel and the wonder of being in the future. Good Lord. Werewolf. Apex says, buy Horror Mike's book. Thank you for posting that link. I appreciate it. Apex. Good Lord. All right, guys. Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this show. Next week is going to be a humdinger. And the week after that, get ready for a show. I'm going to announce it next week specifically. Actually, a good friend of mine who you now know, who's been in the chat for a while, and I are putting together a show for the next, actually in 2 weeks, that you're going to dig the hell out of. Get ready. We're going to announce it next week. It's going to be one hell of a show. So next week, I will have the physical Blood Island comic books for you guys to check out. You got to see these, man. You got to see them to believe them. It's going to be a hell of a show next week and the week after. For Christ's sake. Werewolf says, great show. Look forward to next week. Thank you, Werewolf. I appreciate it. And of course, my good fiends, as always, I lead you out with that fantastic group, the Starfires, and one of my favorite videos, Linda. Take care, you guys, and I will talk to you soon.